Your thoughts shape your reality. Everything you have in life right now, good or bad, is a direct result of the way you think. The power of your mind is unmatched, and the way you choose to use it will determine the course of your life. If you believe you are stuck, if you believe you are weak, if you believe success is impossible for you, then your actions will reflect those beliefs, and you will remain exactly where you are. On the other hand, if you train your mind to focus on opportunity, if you believe in your ability to improve, if you truly understand that anything is possible with enough effort, then your life will begin to transform before your eyes. The mind is the first battleground. If you lose there, you lose everywhere else. But if you win there, nothing can stop you. Most people don't realize that their mindset is the only thing holding them back. They blame their circumstances, their upbringing, their environment, or even bad luck. But the truth is, the way you think determines the way you act, and the way you act determines the results you get. If you spend your time doubting yourself, procrastinating, or making excuses, you will never see any real progress. But if you fill your mind with powerful, positive, and determined thoughts, your actions will align with that energy and your reality will begin to shift. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not intelligence, connections, or background. It is simply the way they think. The ones who make it refuse to accept limitations. They don't allow fear to dictate their choices. They don't waste time dwelling on obstacles. Instead, they look for solutions. They don't see failure as a reason to stop. They see it as feedback, as a lesson, as fuel to keep going. This is the power of mindset. It is the foundation of all success, and it is completely within your control. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that their thoughts are random and uncontrollable. They think negativity, self-doubt, and fear are just natural and unavoidable. But the truth is, you can control your thoughts just like you can control your body. You can train your mind just like you can train your muscles. If you allow weak, lazy, and fearful thoughts to dominate your mind, your actions will reflect that weakness. But if you discipline your mind, if you actively replace negative thoughts with strong, powerful ones, you will start making decisions that align with strength and success. Everything begins with what you tell yourself. If you constantly say, "I can't," then you won't. If you always think about how difficult something is, you will never even try. But the moment you shift your internal dialogue, the moment you start telling yourself, "I can do this," everything changes. Suddenly, you start taking action. You start pushing yourself harder. You start looking for ways to win instead of reasons to quit. That single shift in mindset can be the difference between a life of mediocrity and a life of greatness. Look at the people who have achieved success in any field. Whether it's business, sports, fitness, or personal development, they all have one thing in common: an unbreakable mindset. They don't entertain weakness. They don't allow fear to paralyze them. They believe in their ability to win, even when the odds are against them. That belief is what drives them to put in the work, to stay disciplined, to keep going when most people would give up. Success is not about luck. It's not about having the right connections. It's about mindset. The good news is you can develop this kind of mindset. It's not something you're born with. It's something you build. It starts with self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Catch yourself when you start making excuses. Notice when fear is holding you back. The moment you become aware of these limiting beliefs, you can start changing them. Replace them with empowering beliefs. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," tell yourself, "I will find a way." Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," tell yourself, "I am getting stronger." It may feel unnatural at first, but over time, this new way of thinking will become your default. Another powerful way to strengthen your mindset is by surrounding yourself with winners. Your environment plays a huge role in shaping your thoughts. If you are constantly around people who complain, who make excuses, who accept mediocrity, their mindset will rub off on you. But if you surround yourself with people who think big, who take action, who refuse to settle, their mindset will elevate yours. You will start thinking like them. You will start believing in yourself more. You will start expecting more from life. At the end of the day, everything comes down to this: if you want to change your life, you must first change your mind. No amount of external change will last if you don't shift the way you think. You can get a new job, move to a new city, or start a new relationship, but if your mindset remains the same, you will eventually find yourself back in the same place. True transformation happens from the inside out. When you change the way you think, everything else falls into place. So ask yourself, what kind of thoughts are you feeding your mind every day? Are they thoughts of power, strength, and determination? Or are they thoughts of doubt, fear, and limitation? If you don't like where you are in life, the first place to look is your mindset. The moment you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your future. And once you master your mind, nothing will be impossible for you. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is the force that keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it, even when the excitement fades, and even when the road gets tough. Most people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Some days you wake up feeling inspired, ready to take on the world, and other days you feel tired, unmotivated, and unwilling to put in the effort. Those who rely on motivation alone will always struggle because they wait for the right feeling before taking action. But those who succeed understand that feelings do not matter. What matters is doing what needs to be done, no matter what. The difference between successful people and those who remain stuck is not talent, intelligence, or luck. It is discipline. It is the ability to show up and do the work even on the days when they don't want to. It is pushing through the discomfort, ignoring excuses, and staying committed to the goal. Motivation may get you started, but only discipline will keep you going. It is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who only talk about them. It is what allows people to build incredible businesses, achieve peak physical fitness, and master their craft. They don't wait for motivation, they create habits, routines, and structures that ensure they get things done regardless of how they feel. Most people struggle with discipline because they give in to their emotions too easily. They wake up feeling tired and decide to skip the gym. They don't feel like working, so they procrastinate. They encounter a challenge and decide it's too hard. This pattern keeps them trapped in a cycle of inconsistency and frustration. They wonder why they never see progress, why their goals always seem out of reach, and why they feel stuck. The answer is simple. They allow their emotions to control their actions instead of letting their actions control their emotions. Discipline is about making a decision and sticking to it, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's about training yourself to follow through on your commitments, even when your mind is telling you to quit. It's waking up early to work on your goals, even when you'd rather sleep in. It's putting in the extra hours to improve, even when no one is watching. It's saying no to distractions, temptations, and excuses. When you develop this kind of discipline, success becomes inevitable because you are no longer relying on temporary bursts of motivation. You are operating on a level of consistency that most people will never reach. Building discipline starts with small actions. You don't suddenly wake up one day with an iron will, you build it over time, one decision at a time. Every time you push through resistance, every time you show up despite not feeling like it, every time you stick to your plan, even when it's inconvenient, you strengthen your discipline. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And just like a muscle, if you don't use it, it weakens. The people who seem the most disciplined weren't born that way. They built their mental toughness through years of practice, and you can do the same. One of the most effective ways to develop discipline is by setting clear goals and creating a routine that forces you to stay on track. If you leave things up to chance, you will always find reasons to delay, avoid, or quit. But if you structure your days, set non-negotiable commitments, and remove distractions, you will make discipline a natural part of your life. It is not about willpower. It is about creating an environment that makes success automatic. Another key aspect of discipline is self-control, the ability to delay gratification, to resist short-term pleasure in exchange for long-term success is one of the greatest skills you can develop. Most people give in to their impulses. They choose comfort over progress, entertainment over education, and instant pleasure over long-term growth. But those who master self-discipline understand that the best things in life require sacrifice. They are willing to put in the work now so they can enjoy the rewards later. They understand that true freedom comes from discipline, not from doing whatever feels good in the moment. It's also important to recognize that discipline is not about being perfect. You will have bad days. You will make mistakes. You will fail. But discipline is about getting back up, refocusing, and continuing to push forward. It is about refusing to let setbacks define you. Most people fail once and give up. Disciplined people fail, learn, adjust, and keep going. They understand that progress is not about never making mistakes. It's about never quitting. The truth is, discipline is the key to everything you want in life. If you master it, you can achieve anything. It is the force that turns dreams into reality, ideas into action, and potential into greatness. No one is going to hand you success. No one is going to do the work for you. It is up to you to decide if you are willing to push through the discomfort, ignore the excuses, and commit to the path of discipline. Because once you do, there is nothing that can stop you. Hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. Too many people believe that success is reserved for those who are naturally gifted, that only the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented individuals will rise to the top. But time and time again, the world has proven that talent alone is not enough. No matter how naturally skilled someone is, if they do not put in the effort, they will eventually be surpassed by someone who is willing to outwork them. Hard work is the ultimate equalizer. It does not care where you come from, what advantages you were given, or how much talent you were born with. It only rewards those who are willing to put in the time, effort, and dedication required to succeed. People who rely on talent alone often become complacent. They assume because they are naturally good at something, they do not need to push themselves. They coast on their abilities, thinking they can get by without putting in the extra hours. But the moment they encounter someone with less talent but a stronger work ethic, they begin to struggle. That is because talent without effort is wasted potential. It does not matter how good someone is naturally. If they are unwilling to work, they will eventually be overtaken by someone who is willing to grind, sacrifice, and push through obstacles. Hard work builds resilience. When you commit to working harder than everyone else, you develop mental toughness. You learn how to push through discomfort, how to keep going when things get difficult, and how to handle failure without giving up. Talent alone does not teach these lessons. Talent might allow someone to succeed for a while, but the moment they face real challenges, they will struggle because they have never been forced to develop the persistence required to keep going. Those who rely on hard work, however, are prepared for adversity. They have built the habits, the mindset, and the endurance necessary to overcome setbacks and keep moving forward. Hard work also creates opportunities that talent alone cannot. People who put in the work consistently improve. They refine their skills, they expand their knowledge, and they gain experience that allows them to outperform those who rely on natural ability. A talented person might be able to impress others in the beginning, but a hard worker will continue to get better over time. That steady improvement eventually leads to mastery. The best in any field, whether it is business, sports, or any other discipline, are not just talented. They are relentless. They outwork their competition, they stay disciplined, and they push themselves beyond what others are willing to do. That is what separates the best from the rest. The greatest advantage of hard work is that it is completely within your control. You cannot control how much natural talent you were born with, but you can control how hard you work. You can decide to wake up earlier, to train longer, to study more, and to push yourself harder. You can choose to keep going when others stop. That decision, that commitment to effort is what ultimately determines success. It is what allows people from all backgrounds, all circumstances, and all levels of ability to rise above those who were given more advantages, but refused to work for what they wanted. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack work ethic. They want results, but they are not willing to put in the hours. They want success, but they are not willing to endure the struggle that comes with it. They admire successful people, but refuse to do what those people did to get there. They look for shortcuts, for easy ways out, for ways to avoid the work. But the truth is, there are no shortcuts. Hard work is the only path. Every great achievement, every incredible success story is built on the foundation of hard work. The best athletes train harder than their competition. The most successful entrepreneurs put in longer hours, take more risks, and push through more failures. The most skilled artists, musicians, and creators spend years refining their craft. None of them relied on talent alone. They understood that talent might open a door, but only hard work will allow them to walk through it. There will always be people who are naturally more gifted, who seem to have advantages that you do not. But none of that matters if they are not willing to put in the work. And if you are willing to outwork them, you will win. Hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard. And the best part, you have complete control over how hard you work. That is the ultimate power. Surrounding yourself with the right people is one of the most powerful things you can do to change your life. The people you spend the most time with have an incredible influence over your mindset, habits, and ultimately your success. If you are constantly around people who are negative, lazy, or unmotivated, their energy will drain you, and without even realizing it, you will begin to adopt their way of thinking. But if you surround yourself with driven, disciplined, and ambitious individuals, their mindset will push you to become better. Your environment shapes you more than you realize, and the people in your life either lift you up or drag you down. Many people do not pay attention to their surroundings, and they wonder why they feel stuck. They stay in the same circles, having the same conversations, complaining about the same problems, yet never making any real progress. The truth is, if you are the most ambitious person in your group, your growth will be limited. You need to be around people who challenge you, who push you, who force you to level up. When you are surrounded by winners, you start thinking like a winner. You start adopting their habits, their mindset, and their work ethic. Success becomes normal to you, and you begin to expect more from yourself. On the other hand, if you are constantly around people who make excuses, who settle for mediocrity, and who discourage ambition, their mindset will rub off on you. They will subconsciously plant doubt in your mind. They will tell you that your goals are unrealistic, that success is all about luck, that hard work is not worth it. They will make you feel guilty for wanting more. They will try to pull you back down to their level because your growth reminds them of their own failures. That is why you must be ruthless about the company you keep. You cannot afford to let negative influences dictate your future. One of the biggest mistakes people make is holding on to relationships out of loyalty, even when those relationships are no longer serving them. Just because you have known someone for years does not mean they deserve a place in your life forever. If someone is not adding value to your life, if they are holding you back instead of pushing you forward, then it may be time to distance yourself. This is not about arrogance or thinking you are better than anyone else. It is about protecting your energy, your mindset, and your future. Growth requires sacrifice, and sometimes that sacrifice includes letting go of people who no longer align with your goals. The right environment makes success inevitable. When you are surrounded by people who are constantly striving for more, who hold themselves to high standards, and who are disciplined in their actions, you will naturally elevate yourself to that level. Conversations with them will inspire you. Their work ethic will push you to work harder. Their mindset will reshape the way you think about challenges and opportunities. It is impossible to stay the same when you are surrounded by people who refuse to settle. This is why high achievers are so selective with their inner circle. They understand that their energy is valuable, and they refuse to waste it on people who bring negativity, drama, or excuses into their lives. They seek out people who are just as ambitious as they are, who hold them accountable, and who push them to grow. They do not waste time with people who complain, but never take action, who blame others for their failures, or who make excuses for why they are not where they want to be. If you want to change your life, start by changing who you spend time with. Seek out people who are already where you want to be. Learn from them. Absorb their mindset, model habits. If you do not have access to these kinds of people in your immediate environment, then look for mentors, read books, listen to podcasts, and consume content from those who have the mindset you want to develop. You can create a virtual environment of success even if your physical surroundings are not ideal. The reality is, success is contagious. When you are constantly exposed to a certain level of ambition, discipline, and achievement, it becomes your new standard. You begin to see what is possible, and you no longer tolerate mediocrity from yourself. You start thinking bigger, working harder, and expecting more from life. That is the power of surrounding yourself with the right people. Your circle is either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. It is either pushing you towards success or pulling you away from it. If you are not where you want to be in life, take a hard look at the people around you. Ask yourself if they are helping you grow or keeping you stagnant. Be honest about who is adding value and who is draining your energy. Make the tough decisions necessary to align yourself with those who will elevate you. At the end of the day, you become a reflection of the people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with winners, you will become one. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you will settle too. Choose your circle wisely because your future depends on it. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have when it comes to changing your life. Everything you achieve or fail to achieve starts in your mind. The way you think, the way you see the world, and the way you interpret challenges all determine the actions you take and the results you get. Most people do not realize that their mindset is what keeps them stuck. They blame external circumstances, bad luck, or lack of opportunities, but the real problem is the way they think. If you want to change your life, you have to change your mindset first. A weak mindset will always find an excuse. It will tell you that you are not capable, that it is too hard, that you are not lucky enough, smart enough, or talented enough. It will convince you that you are a victim of your circumstances and that no matter how hard you try, nothing will ever change. This type of thinking is what keeps people trapped in the same cycles of failure and disappointment. They do not even try to change because in their minds they have already lost. They believe success is something that happens to other people, not to them. They see obstacles as permanent roadblocks instead of challenges to overcome. They settle for less than they deserve because they have convinced themselves that they cannot do better. On the other hand, a strong mindset sees the world differently. It does not make excuses. It does not focus on what is missing or what is unfair. Instead, it focuses on what is possible and what can be done. A strong mindset does not see failure as a reason to quit. It sees failure as feedback, as a lesson, as a necessary step towards success. When a person with a strong mindset encounters an obstacle, they do not complain or give up. They adapt, they find a way around it, and they keep moving forward. They understand that life will never be easy, that challenges are inevitable, but that their ability to push through those challenges is what separates them from everyone else. The key to developing a strong mindset is to take control of your thoughts. Most people allow their minds to run on autopilot, reacting to situations based on emotions and past experiences. They let fear, doubt, and negativity dictate their decisions. But when you become aware of your thoughts and start actively shaping them, you gain control over your life. Instead of allowing fear to stop you, you reframe it as excitement. Instead of seeing problems, you see opportunities to grow. Instead of telling yourself you cannot do something, you tell yourself that you will figure out how. Your mindset is not something you are born with. It is something you train. Just like a muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. Every time you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, every time you refuse to quit, every time you replace a negative thought with a positive one, you are strengthening your mindset. Over time, this shift in thinking becomes automatic. You start seeing yourself as someone who overcomes challenges instead of someone who is controlled by them. You start expecting success instead of doubting yourself. One of the biggest mindset shifts you need to make is understanding that you are responsible for your life. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success. If you want a better future, you have to create it. This means letting go of the idea that your circumstances determine your destiny. It does not matter where you come from, what struggles you have faced, or what disadvantages you think you have. The only thing that matters is what you do next. The people who succeed are the ones who take full responsibility for their actions, their choices, and their results. They do not blame others. They do not wait for the perfect moment. They take action even when it is hard, even when they do not feel like it, even when they are scared. Another important mindset shift is learning to embrace discomfort. Most people avoid anything that feels difficult or uncomfortable. They want success, but they do not want to struggle for it. They want to be fit, but they do not want to go to the gym. They want to be wealthy, but they do not want to put in the work. This is why they fail. Growth does not happen inside your comfort zone. If you are not willing to be uncomfortable, you will never achieve anything significant. Every successful person has had to endure discomfort, sacrifice, and struggle. The difference is they embraced it instead of running from it. They understood that every challenge, every failure, every difficult moment was shaping them into the person they needed to become. Your mindset determines how you handle setbacks. A weak mindset sees failure as the end. It sees rejection as proof that success is not meant for them. But a strong mindset sees failure as an opportunity to learn. It sees rejection as a sign to keep going. It understands that every obstacle is a chance to grow stronger. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is they did not let those failures stop them. They used them as fuel to keep going. If you want to change your life, start with your mindset. Start paying attention to the thoughts you allow in your mind. Start replacing doubt with belief, fear with action, excuses with responsibility. Train yourself to see challenges as opportunities, to embrace discomfort and to push through fear. Because once you develop a strong mindset, there is nothing that can stop you. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who only dream about it. Many people rely on motivation to get things done, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, ready to work hard, and full of energy. Other days you feel lazy, distracted, or simply unmotivated. If you rely on motivation alone, you will never be consistent. You will only take action when you feel like it, and that is a recipe for failure. Discipline, on the other hand, does not depend on how you feel. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not want to do it. Most people struggle with discipline because they look for shortcuts. They want fast results with minimal effort. They look for easy ways to get fit, to make money, to become successful. But the truth is, there are no shortcuts. Every great achievement requires consistent effort, and that consistency is only possible through discipline. Successful people do not wake up every day feeling motivated. They wake up and follow their routines. No matter how they feel, they do not wait for inspiration. They take action regardless of their emotions. This is why they achieve more than the average person. Discipline is about making a commitment to yourself and keeping that commitment even when it is difficult. It means showing up every day and putting in the work, whether you feel like it or not. It means sticking to your goals, even when distractions and temptations try to pull you away. It is waking up early when you would rather sleep in. It is going to the gym when you feel tired. It is working on your goals after a long day when most people would choose to relax. This is what builds strength, character, and success. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is instant gratification. People want results now. They want to see progress immediately. When they do not get it, they become discouraged and quit. But discipline requires patience. It requires trusting the process and understanding that real success takes time. You may not see immediate results, but every disciplined action you take is moving you closer to your goals. Every workout, every study session, every hour of effort is building something greater, even if you cannot see it yet. Those who lack discipline give up too soon. They stop because they do not see quick progress. But those who are disciplined keep going, knowing that consistency will eventually lead to success. Discipline is also about controlling your mind. Your mind will try to convince you to take the easy route. It will tell you that skipping one workout does not matter, that watching one more episode of a show instead of working on your goals will not make a difference. But these small choices add up over time. Every time you give in to laziness or distractions, you reinforce a habit of quitting. Every time you push through and do what you need to do, you reinforce a habit of discipline. The more you practice discipline, the stronger it becomes. The more you give in to excuses, the weaker your self-control becomes. A disciplined person does not allow emotions to dictate their actions. They do not make decisions based on what feels good in the moment. They make decisions based on their long-term goals. This is why they achieve things others only dream about. They are not special. They are not superhuman. They have simply trained themselves to take action regardless of their emotions. They have built habits that make success inevitable. If you want to change your life, you must develop discipline. You must stop relying on motivation and start taking control of your actions. You must commit to your goals and refuse to let distractions, laziness, or excuses stop you. The best way to build discipline is to start small. Set a goal and stick to it, no matter what. Wake up at the same time every day. Exercise even when you do not feel like it. Work on your goals for a set amount of time each day, no matter how tired or unmotivated you feel. The more you push yourself, the easier it becomes. Over time, discipline becomes a part of who you are. There will always be distractions, excuses, and reasons to quit. But if you are disciplined, none of that matters. You will keep going, you will keep pushing, and you will achieve things that others never will. Because in the end, it is not the most talented or the smartest who succeed. It is the most disciplined. Taking responsibility for your life is the most important step toward real change. Too many people go through life blaming circumstances, other people, or bad luck for their problems. They believe they are victims of their environment, their upbringing, or their past mistakes. But the truth is, as long as you blame something outside of yourself, you give away your power. You allow external forces to control your life instead of taking control yourself. The moment you decide to take full responsibility for where you are and you are going, everything changes. You stop making excuses, you stop waiting for someone to save you, and you start taking action to create the life you want. Taking responsibility means understanding that no one else is going to fix your problems. No one is going to come and give you success, happiness, or fulfillment. If you want a better future, you must create it yourself. This is a hard truth for many people to accept because it means admitting that their failures are a result of their own choices. It is easier to blame society, the economy, or other people. But blaming does not change anything. It only keeps you stuck. The only way to move forward is to accept that you are in control of your own destiny. When you take responsibility, you stop complaining and start solving problems. Complaining is a waste of time. It does not change your situation, and it does not make you stronger. It only makes you feel helpless. Instead of complaining about your job, your finances, or your relationships, take action to improve them. If you do not like your job, develop new skills and find a better one. If you are struggling financially, learn about money management and create new sources of income. If your relationships are not fulfilling, improve yourself so you can attract better people into your life. Complaining does nothing. Action changes everything. One of the biggest obstacles to taking responsibility is the fear of failure. Many people do not take control of their lives because they are afraid of making mistakes. They think that if they try and fail, it will be proof that they are not good enough. But failure is not the enemy. In fact, failure is necessary for growth. The most successful people in the world have failed more times than most people have even tried. The difference is that they take responsibility for their failures, learn from them, and keep going. They do not waste time blaming others or feeling sorry for themselves. They analyze what went wrong, adjust their approach, and try again. Taking responsibility also means letting go of the past. Too many people stay stuck in their past mistakes, regrets, or traumas. They use their past as an excuse for why they cannot move forward. But the past is gone. It cannot be changed. The only thing you can control is what you do now. Every day is a new opportunity to make better choices, to learn from past experiences, and to build a better future. Holding on to past pain or blaming past experiences for your current situation only holds you back. The strongest people take what they have been through and use it as fuel to become better. They do not let their past define them. They use it to grow. Taking responsibility means holding yourself accountable. It means being honest with yourself about your weaknesses and areas that need improvement. Many people avoid self-reflection because it is uncomfortable to admit their flaws. But growth requires honesty. If you are not where you want to be in life, look at your habits, your mindset, and your daily choices. Are they leading you towards success, or are they keeping you stuck? Instead of making excuses, take ownership of your actions and make the necessary changes. The moment you stop lying to yourself and start taking accountability, you gain the power to transform your life. Another important part of taking responsibility is controlling your reactions. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. Some people let obstacles defeat them. They give up at the first sign of difficulty. Others take responsibility for their reactions and find a way to keep going. They do not waste time complaining about things they cannot change. Instead, they focus on what they can do to improve the situation. This mindset separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck. People who take responsibility do not waste time waiting for the perfect moment to start. They do not wait until they feel ready or until the conditions are ideal. They understand that waiting is just another form of procrastination. If you want to change your life, the best time to start is now. Stop waiting for permission, for motivation, or for someone to give you an opportunity. Create your own opportunities. Take action today, no matter how small the step. Every action you take moves you closer to your goals, while every excuse you make keeps you stuck in the same place. Taking responsibility is not easy. It requires strength, discipline, and the willingness to face hard truths. But it is the only way to truly change your life. When you stop blaming others, stop making excuses, and start owning your choices, you gain complete control over your future. You realize that nothing is stopping you except your own mindset and habits. The people who succeed in life are not necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are simply the ones who take full responsibility for their actions and never stop working toward their goals. If you want to change your life, stop looking for external solutions and start looking inward. Take full responsibility for your situation, your mindset, and your actions. Stop waiting, stop blaming, and start doing. The moment you take full ownership of your life is the moment everything changes. Success is not something that happens overnight. It is not a single event or a sudden stroke of luck. Success is a result of consistent effort, repeated actions, and unwavering commitment to a goal. Many people look at successful individuals and assume they got there because of some extraordinary talent or fortunate circumstances, but the truth is that success is built on small daily habits. The things you do every day, the routines you follow, and the discipline you maintain shape the outcome of your life. It is not about one big breakthrough. It is about the hundreds or even thousands of small decisions and actions that add up over time. Most people underestimate the power of consistency. They start working on something, but when they do not see immediate results, they get discouraged and quit. This is why so many people fail to reach their goals. They expect quick results. And when that does not happen, they assume it is impossible or that they are not capable. The reality is that every great achievement is built on persistence. Every successful person has faced setbacks, challenges, and moments of doubt. But what separates them from everyone else is that they kept going. They did not allow slow progress or temporary failures to stop them. They understood that success is a long-term game, not an instant reward. The key to consistency is commitment. It means showing up every single day, Regardless of how you feel, there will be days when you are motivated and full of energy, but there will also be days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or frustrated. Those are the moments when consistency matters the most. Anyone can work hard when they feel good, but true success comes from pushing through even when it is difficult. It is easy to go to the gym when you are excited about getting in shape, but the real test is whether you show up on the days when you feel like skipping. It is easy to work on your business when things are going well, but the real question is whether you stay committed when progress is slow. Consistency means sticking to your goals even when it is inconvenient, even when you do not feel like it, and even when it seems like nothing is happening. Small actions repeated over time lead to massive results. The problem is that most people do not see the immediate impact of their actions, so they assume they do not matter. They think skipping one workout, eating one unhealthy meal, or procrastinating for one day will not make a difference. And while it may not seem like a big deal in the moment, these small choices add up over time. Just as positive habits lead to success, negative habits lead to failure. If you constantly break your commitments, delay your work, or give in to distractions, you are reinforcing habits that will keep you stuck. On the other hand, if you stay disciplined and consistent, you are setting yourself up for long-term success. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting perfection. They think they need to be perfect every single day in order to succeed, and when they inevitably slip up, they feel like they have failed completely. But success is not about being perfect. It is about staying committed even after setbacks. Missing one day at the gym does not ruin your progress, but giving up entirely does. Making one bad financial decision does not destroy your wealth, but continuously making bad choices does. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible and not let small failures turn into permanent defeat. Consistency is not just about effort, it is also about patience. Many people quit too soon because they do not see immediate results. They start working out but stop after a few weeks because they have not seen drastic physical changes. They start a business but give up after a few months because they are not making a fortune yet. What they fail to realize is that every effort they put in is building momentum even if they cannot see it right away. Success takes time, and those who are patient and persistent will always outperform those who give up too early. Another important aspect of consistency is focus. In today's world, it is easy to get distracted. People jump from one goal to another, constantly switching directions instead of staying committed to one path. They start a project but abandon it as soon as they lose interest or when they face difficulties. This lack of focus prevents them from making real progress. If you want to achieve something great, you need to stay focused on it for the long haul. Stop looking for shortcuts or quick fixes and commit to doing the work every day. Ultimately, success is a game of endurance. It is about who can stay consistent the longest. Many people have talent, intelligence, or great ideas, but few have the discipline to keep going when things get tough. The ones who succeed are not necessarily the most gifted or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to quit. They understand that every small step forward brings them closer to their goal. They know that the effort they put in today may not show immediate results, but it will pay off in the long run. If you want to change your life, commit to consistency. Set your goals, create a plan, and stick to it. Show up every day, no matter how you feel. Keep going even when progress is slow. Stay patient, stay focused, and trust the process. The results will come, but only if you are willing to put in the work every single day. Your mindset determines your reality. The way you think, the beliefs you hold, and the perspective you choose to adopt shape every aspect of your life. Many people go through life feeling stuck, frustrated, or unfulfilled, not because of external circumstances, but because of their own limiting beliefs. They tell themselves they are not good enough, that success is only for others, or that they do not have what it takes to achieve their goals. These thoughts create a mental prison that keeps them from reaching their full potential. But the truth is, the mind is incredibly powerful. It can either be your greatest tool or your greatest enemy. If you learn to control your thoughts and develop a strong, positive mindset, you can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Everything begins with belief. If you do not believe you can achieve something, you will not even try. If you convince yourself that failure is inevitable, you will not put in the effort needed to succeed. This is why so many people give up before they even start. They let fear and doubt control them instead of taking action. But successful people think differently. They understand that belief is the foundation of success. Even when things seem impossible, they choose to believe in themselves. They focus on solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles. They refuse to let fear or negative thoughts hold them back. Your mindset also determines how you handle challenges. Life is full of difficulties, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles. No one is immune to hardship. But the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is how they respond to these challenges. Some people see problems as excuses to quit. They allow failure to discourage them and stop them from moving forward. Others, however, see challenges as opportunities to grow. They understand that failure is not the end, it is a lesson. They learn from their mistakes, adapt, and come back stronger. This is the power of a growth mindset. Instead of fearing failure, they embrace it as part of the journey. They know that every setback brings them one step closer to success. Your thoughts also influence your daily actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you are too tired, too busy, or not good enough, you will find excuses to avoid the work needed to achieve your goals. But if you train your mind to focus on discipline, perseverance, and self-improvement, you will take action even when you do not feel like it. This is why mindset is so important. It affects not only how you think, but also what you do. If you believe in yourself and maintain a strong mental attitude, you will push through difficulties, stay consistent, and keep working toward your goals no matter what. One of the most powerful things you can do to change your mindset is to take control of your inner dialogue. The words you speak to yourself matter. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not capable, that success is out of reach, or that you are destined to fail, those thoughts will become your reality. But if you replace those negative thoughts with positive affirmations and empowering beliefs, your entire perspective will shift. Instead of saying, I can't do this, start saying, I am capable and I will find a way. Instead of thinking, I always fail, tell yourself, every failure is a lesson that makes me stronger. Your brain will believe whatever you tell it, so choose your words wisely. Surrounding yourself with the right influences also plays a huge role in shaping your mindset. If you spend time around negative, pessimistic people who constantly complain and make excuses, their mindset will influence yours. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, motivated individuals who push themselves to improve, you will adopt their way of thinking. The people you associate with have a direct impact on your beliefs, attitudes, and overall outlook on life. Choose to be around those who inspire and challenge you rather than those who drain your energy and keep you stuck in negativity. Developing a strong mindset also requires stepping out of your comfort zone. Growth does not happen when you stay where it is safe and easy. If you always avoid challenges, take the easy route, and stay within your comfort zone, you will never reach your full potential. The most successful people in the world are those who take risks, face their fears, and challenge themselves daily. They push past discomfort because they understand that growth comes from struggle. The more you step out of your comfort zone, the stronger and more resilient your mind becomes. Another key aspect of building a powerful mindset is focusing on gratitude. Many people spend so much time thinking about what they do not have that they forget to appreciate what they do have. This negative thinking creates a cycle of dissatisfaction and unhappiness. But when you shift your focus to gratitude, everything changes. Instead of feeling discouraged about what is missing, you start recognizing the opportunities and blessings already in your life. Gratitude helps you stay positive, motivated, and focused on progress rather than lack. It rewires your brain to see possibilities instead of limitations. Ultimately, your mindset is the most important factor in determining your success. If you believe in yourself, stay positive, and refuse to let challenges defeat you, there is no limit to what you can achieve. But if you allow fear, doubt, and negativity to control your thoughts, you will always feel stuck. The good news is that you have the power to change your mindset at any moment. It is a choice. You can choose to think differently, to see obstacles as opportunities, to take responsibility for your actions, and to believe in your ability to succeed. When you master your mind, you master your life. Discipline is the foundation of success. It is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who only dream about them. Many people believe that motivation is the key to success, but motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes depending on your mood, energy levels, or external circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is consistent. It is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. This is the real difference between those who succeed and those who fail. The people who reach their goals are not the ones who wait for motivation to strike. They are the ones who develop the discipline to keep going regardless of how they feel. Discipline is about making the right choices every day. It is about showing up, putting in the work, and sticking to your commitments no matter what. Successful people understand that discipline is a habit. It is not something you are born with. It is something you build over time. Every time you choose to push through discomfort, to stay focused when distractions arise, or to do the hard thing instead of the easy thing, you strengthen your discipline. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to stay on track and make progress toward your goals. One of the biggest obstacles to discipline is the desire for instant gratification. People want quick results, and when they do not see immediate progress, they get discouraged. But discipline is about playing the long game. It is about sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term success. This means choosing to study instead of watching TV, going to the gym instead of sleeping in, or working on your goals instead of wasting time on distractions. The people who succeed in life are the ones who understand that small daily sacrifices lead to big rewards in the future. They are willing to endure temporary discomfort because they know it will pay off in the long run. Another key aspect of discipline is consistency. It is not enough to work hard for a few days or weeks and then stop. Success requires sustained effort over time. This is where most people fail. They start strong, full of energy and motivation, but as soon as things get difficult or boring, they quit. They make excuses, telling themselves they will start again later or that they are too busy. But the truth is, success comes to those who stay consistent even when they do not feel like it. The best athletes, entrepreneurs, and professionals are the ones who put in the work every single day, regardless of how they feel. They understand that consistency is more important than intensity. It is better to do a little every day than to go all out for a short period and then stop. Self-control is another crucial part of discipline. This means being able to resist temptations and distractions that pull you away from your goals. In today's world, distractions are everywhere: social media, entertainment, unhealthy habits, and negative influences. If you do not have the discipline to control your time and focus, you will never make real progress. This is why successful people set rules for themselves. They create routines, limit distractions, and prioritize their goals over meaningless activities. They do not rely on willpower alone. They create systems that make discipline easier. They remove temptations from their environment and set clear boundaries that keep them on track. One of the hardest parts of discipline is pushing through discomfort. Growth does not happen in your comfort zone. The things that lead to success, hard work, learning new skills, facing challenges, are often uncomfortable. But discipline is about doing what is necessary even when it is hard. Most people avoid discomfort. They procrastinate, make excuses, or choose the easy path. But those who achieve great things embrace discomfort. They understand that pain and struggle are part of the process. They know that every time they push through difficulty, they become stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Discipline is also about taking responsibility for your actions. It means holding yourself accountable and not making excuses. Many people fail because they blame others for their lack of progress. They blame their circumstances, their past, or other people. But the truth is, no one is going to save you. If you want to change your life, you have to take full responsibility for your choices and actions. This means being honest with yourself about your weaknesses, making adjustments where needed, and staying committed to your goals no matter what. Developing discipline takes time and effort, but it is one of the most valuable skills you can build. It requires making small, daily decisions that reinforce your commitment to your goals. It means setting clear priorities, eliminating distractions, and creating habits that support your success. It means choosing progress over comfort, responsibility over excuses, and long-term success over short-term pleasure. If you master discipline, there is nothing you cannot achieve. It is the key to unlocking your full potential and turning your dreams into reality. Your environment plays a crucial role in shaping who you are and what you achieve. Many people underestimate the power of their surroundings, yet it is one of the most influential factors in determining success or failure. The people you associate with, the content you consume, and the atmosphere you immerse yourself in all have a profound impact on your mindset, habits, and ambitions. If you are surrounded by negativity, laziness, and mediocrity, it becomes incredibly difficult to rise above those influences. On the other hand, if you deliberately shape your environment to support growth, discipline, and ambition, you set yourself up for success. One of the most important aspects of your environment is the people you surround yourself with. The saying, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with," holds a lot of truth. If you spend time with people who have no ambition, who complain about everything, and who make excuses for their failures, you will naturally adopt their mindset and behaviors. Even if you have big dreams and strong discipline, being around negative influences will slowly drain your motivation and lower your standards. It is not because you are weak, it's because humans are social creatures who absorb the energy, attitudes, and habits of those around them. If you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with winners, people who push you to be better, who inspire you, and who challenge you to grow. Look at your circle and ask yourself if the people in your life are helping you move forward or holding you back. If your friends are constantly wasting time, engaging in self-destructive behaviors, or settling for mediocrity, it may be time to distance yourself and seek out those who align with your goals. This does not mean you have to cut people off completely, but you must be conscious of how much influence they have over you. Spend more time with those who encourage discipline, hard work, and self-improvement. Another critical factor in your environment is the information you consume. In today's digital world, we are constantly bombarded with content from social media, news, television, and entertainment. Most people do not realize how much this shapes their thoughts and behaviors. If you fill your mind with negativity, gossip, and distractions, you will struggle to stay focused on your goals. If you constantly watch content that promotes laziness, victimhood, and instant gratification, your mind will be conditioned to seek the easy way out instead of pushing through challenges. Successful people are highly selective about what they allow into their minds. They read books that expand their knowledge, listen to podcasts that inspire them, and follow mentors who push them to improve. Instead of wasting time scrolling through social media aimlessly, they use their time to learn new skills, develop their mindset, and absorb valuable information. If you want to change your life, start by controlling the content you consume. Replace mindless entertainment with educational material. Stop watching negativity and start feeding your mind with content that aligns with your goals. Your physical environment also plays a significant role in your success. The space where you live, work, and spend your time affects your productivity, motivation, and mental clarity. A cluttered, disorganized space leads to a cluttered, disorganized mind. If your environment is full of distractions, you will struggle to focus. If your workspace is chaotic, it will be harder to stay disciplined. Creating an environment that supports success means keeping your surroundings clean, organized, and free of unnecessary distractions. It means designing a space that makes it easier to stay focused and productive. This also applies to your daily habits and routines. If your environment encourages bad habits, it will be difficult to stay disciplined. For example, if you want to eat healthy, but your kitchen is filled with junk food, you are setting yourself up for failure. If you want to be productive, but your phone is constantly within reach, tempting you to check notifications, you are making discipline harder than it needs to be. Reshaping your environment to support your goals means removing temptations and replacing them with positive reinforcements. If you want to work out consistently, place your workout clothes where you can see them. If you want to read more, keep books within easy reach instead of your phone. Small changes in your environment can have a massive impact on your ability to stay consistent. Your environment also includes your lifestyle and daily choices. The places you go, the activities you engage in, and the way you structure your day all contribute to your success or failure. If you constantly put yourself in situations that lead to bad decisions, you are making it harder to stay on track. If your weekends are filled with partying, drinking, and staying out late, it will be difficult to wake up early and be productive. If you spend your free time around people who discourage your ambitions, it will be harder to stay motivated. Being conscious of how your daily choices impact your progress is essential. Ultimately, the key to success is designing an environment that naturally pushes you toward your goals. When you surround yourself with people who inspire you, consume information that educates and motivates you, and create a physical space that promotes discipline and focus, success becomes inevitable. Your environment should not be something you passively accept. It should be something you actively shape to fit the person you want to become. If your current environment is not helping you grow, change it. Seek out mentors, join communities of like-minded individuals, and remove anything that does not align with your vision for success. The truth is, willpower alone is not enough. No matter how strong your motivation is, if your environment constantly pulls you in the wrong direction, you will struggle to make progress. But if you build an environment that supports your goals, discipline becomes easier, success becomes more natural, and you set yourself up for long-term achievement. Take control of your surroundings, be intentional about the influences in your life, and watch how dramatically your results change